Hey guys, in this video, I'd like to talk about the Intercontinental Cup final. But before that, I'd first like to talk about the India's match against New Zealand, also Kenya's match against the Chinese Taipei. So let's begin with India's match against New Zealand. Coach Stephen Constantine rested a whole bunch of players for that game. India was already on 6 points with New Zealand on three as well as Kenya on three. So and also with a goal difference of +8. So India was most likely going to be in the finals anyways. So this was a good time. And also given the format of the Intercontinental Cup, it was much needed rest for some of these players given that in the Intercontinental Cup after every 2 days there's a game, and in football that's not a realistic way to schedule a tournament. But given the restrictions, also World Cup coming up in next week, maybe they had to finish tournament by this Sunday, basically tomorrow. And yeah, given all the restrictions, the matches were scheduled after every 2 days, and so it was a good idea by Stephen Constantine to test the depth of his squad as well as give rest to some of his big players. Even some of the likes of Sandesh Jingan, who had got a knock at the end of the Kenya game, and some others on niggles. The main players that were played were Anirudh Thapa, Subhashish Bose, Sunil Chetri, and a few others. And some others like Udanta Singh and Pranay Halder had to come on very early in the game. Even Sandesh Jingan came on for the last 20 minutes. So before I get into all those things, let's dive into the game. Coach Stephen Constantine gave starts to the likes of Amrinder Singh, Balwant Singh, Nazari, even the likes of Borges, who's a big, lanky, maybe the tallest Indian player and big, lanky defensive midfielder. But the problem with having seven different players come on in this game was that India definitely looked a little out of sorts, and New Zealand dominated the game. They dominated the game throughout the 90 minutes. They dominated possession. They were the more incisive team. They created most of the chances, and it was shocking the amount of chances they wasted in front of goal. And also, Amrinder Singh had a really good game. The New Zealand attackers forced him into some really good saves for the Indian team, and he was maybe one of the best players for India on that day on the field. Now, for all the problems that India faced in defense, they were run rat by the New Zealand, and for all the attacks from New Zealand in the first half, especially at the half time, the score was 0-0. It was a blessing in disguise for the manager Stephen Constantine, who changed a lot of things at half time. He brought on Udanta Singh at 30th minute itself. It tried to steady ship. He brought on Pranay Halder at the beginning of the second half. But at the start of the second half itself, the New Zealand goalkeeper had a Loris Karius moment. He There was a back pass to the goalkeeper, and Sunil Chetri came charging on to him, and he could have, if he didn't have a passing option open, he could have just hit the ball out of play. But he tried to get cheeky, and he just played the ball onto Sunil Chetri's legs. And Sunil Chetri, a lucky man, just had to put feet on ball, and the ball ricocheted into the back of the net. And for all of New Zealand's efforts, India led the game 1-0 on the 46th minute. Now, things didn't get any better after the lead. New Zealand kept piling on the pressure, and just 3 minutes later, had a simple opportunity and scored a vital goal through some really incisive passing, one might add, and the scores were level. And a little while after, New Zealand also got the lead, and at 2-1, India didn't look like mounting on a challenge of a big sort as well. They were pushed back, and they kept on defending. Sandesh Jingan was brought on to solidify the defense to save an embarrassment for Team India, and also JJ was brought on to maybe put on some kind of a counter and bring an unlikely goal. And it was JJ's 50th appearance, one might add. And on the topic of getting an unlikely goal, JJ had an amazing chance in the dying seconds of the match, a simple tap in, and he missed it. For all his luck, he couldn't convert the scoring opportunity, and India lost the game 2-1. Not a bad loss, a loss which was a learning experience as well for some of players of Team India, also for the coach. Now he knows who he can trust on, who he can count on. Maybe he won't do that based on one game, but yeah, it's a good test to know how a substitute player who's usually substitute will play in a match situation, in a real match scenario. And as everyone has already stressed, India is preparing for the AFC Asia Cup, and yeah, this is a good way to know the depth of the squad. Now, for the finals, yesterday's match for Kenya was crucial for them to win. Now that New Zealand was on 6 points over with India, if Kenya beat Chinese Taipei by a handsome margin, they were in the finals, and they did just that. A clinical display from Kenya against Chinese Taipei. Uh, Chinese Taipei has a lot to improve in football, but nonetheless, a clinical display by Kenya, and now Kenya overtook New Zealand based on goal difference. All the teams had 6 points. India's goal difference was the best, and now for tomorrow's final, it's India versus Kenya. Hard luck to New Zealand. Also, I wish that New Zealand would be in the final so that India could exact an revenge of sorts. India would have their best players playing in that game, and I'm sure they would be that would be a totally different game from the one we played against New Zealand a few days ago. Nonetheless, the final is India versus Kenya. All of us are going to be there supporting, chanting for Team India, supporting the players with our help and some tactical nuances and a good game plan. I'm sure India will be able to overcome Kenya and lift the Intercontinental Cup on Sunday. So for tomorrow's game, India will fall back to their tried and trusted 4-4-1-1. And Sunil Chetri will most likely not have to lead the line if JJ is back in the squad. And also India will bring back their defense of Gurpreet Singh Sandhu in goal, with Sandesh Jhingan, Ethari Kota and Pritam Kotal supporting Subhashish Bose, and that will bring some surety to the Indian defense as well. The likes of Pranay Halder and Udant Singh and Azaria are sure to be back. So it'll be a more rounded squad, a group of players that have won consistently a large amount of games over the last 2 or 3 years for the country. And it will be nice to see how they perform on the big stage. Although this is a friendly tournament with only 4 games each, still these are some big teams India playing against. And also after the Sunil Chetri's plea, there's a large amount of crowd that's going to be present in the stadium. uh, with the atmosphere that I've seen in the last couple of games, it's going to be wild, it's going to be electric. Everyone will be chanting for Team India, Sunil Chetri, and everyone. So it'll be nice to see how they react to this occasion, how they play, and hopefully they win. How they counter. So Kenya is also a strong team, right? We have already seen that. Although we won against them 3-0, until we scored the first goal in around the 60th, 70th minute, Kenya had mounted a strong challenge, especially in the first half. They had dominated us similar to the way New Zealand did. And but not for Sandesh Jhingan and Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, it would have been a lead for Kenya in that game. So yeah, how we counter Kenya's attacks, how we read their plays, how we keep possession of the ball and keep away possession from them. And rain will be crucial factor in this game. It has been scheduled to rain in tomorrow's match and all day tomorrow in Mumbai. So if the rain plays a factor, in case the ball has to be played through the air and all of that, Kenya has superior athletic ability. The Kenyan players are much taller than most of the Indian players. They have more athletic ability in terms of jumping and gaining ball and all of that. For India, it will be necessary to keep the ground passes going on, and if rain plays a factor, that will be difficult to do, similar to the game against Kenya on Tuesday. All these things are going to play a factor in tomorrow's game. It will be an exciting match, and hopefully at the end of it, it will be a big celebration for all of fans and all for Team India. If India win tomorrow, it would be a big event. Indian football team might finally get the coverage it deserves, the media attention it deserves, the fan attention it deserves if they win tomorrow. Because After all, results matter, and some of us fans who are die-hard football fans will surely attend the games. But for the team to get and gain attention, the media coverage, which by the way Star Sports is doing. Star Sports has started a all new India thing, some shows of football experts, football pundits talking about Team India and the youth level academies, ISL, I leagues, all of that. It's gaining momentum, and tomorrow, if India win tomorrow, it will only help that push forward at a quicker pace. If not, there's always AFC Asia Cup in next year for India to make a mark, and that'll be the big stage, and that's what we're preparing for in this tournament. Anyways, it'll be fun to see how India counter Kenya's athletic abilities and also their robust play, and create a play and chances of our own for the likes of JJ and Sunil to score. I'm going to be there cheering Team India on. Hopefully, if you're there, you can meet me. We can support Team India together. Even if you're not there and you like this vlog and you like how Team India is progressing, do follow them, do support them, do like, share their pages as well, and also most importantly subscribe to my channel for more such videos. I'm going to be doing a review of tomorrow's finals as well, and then we are going to go full swing into the World Cup. There are lots of videos of the World Cup and history, like I've said earlier, lined up. So for those videos and running into the World Cup, to subscribe to my channel. See you around, guys.